This is my first rated colorwork sweater. I normally don't go for this much variegation, so I think I might go back to this. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Knits by Mandy. My name is Amanda, and this is the 21st episode of the Knits by Mandy podcast. It has been probably 2 months since I've sat down and recorded a podcast episode, so I have a lot to talk about with you all. I have some life updates, which are exciting. In this video, we'll catch up on what I've been working on, finished objects that I've made since the last episode, and I'm also going to squeeze in my 2024 plans and knitting intentions into this video. I just haven't had time to make two, so I figure it's February 2nd as I'm filming. We better just talk about it now. Let's just get into it. The last time I filmed a podcast episode, I hadn't had any finished objects in almost 3 months, and that was weighing on me heavily. I talked about this finished object in my Everything I Made This Year video of 2023, so I'll talk about it briefly here, and I also talked about it for like 3 months, so we will not belabor the point, but I think it did bear mentioning that I did finish my folklore cardigan by Amy Gunderson back in December. I know I have to fix my buttons. I knit this cardigan for almost 3 months and I finally finished it. I knit this in kelbourne woolen scout and natural and charcoal heather. I knit it in the size small and I could not be happier with it. It is so cute. I've already gotten so much wear out of it. It is fun to dress up. It's fun to dress down. Leggings, jeans, skirts. I've found a purpose for all of it. It's definitely the most labor intensive thing I've ever made, and it's also, I think, the prettiest thing I've ever made. I'm just kind of at a loss for words, honestly, and I've also talked a lot about it, but I just wanted to show it. I feel like I'm not showing it well. I wanted to be like, I finished it, and we can close the loop on this cardigan. I'm very happy with it. If you are interested in like the Lion brand cardigan, but you don't want to knit an Aran white sweater, I feel like this is such a good option. It has more sizes as well, and I also think it's more accurate to the cardigan itself. Speaking of inaccuracies, it has, I think, 5 buttons included on the model, and I only did 3 because that's what Taylor Swift does, and I really like how it looks. I feel like it doesn't busy up the button band and the finished look too much. I also think the buttons on the original folklore cardigan, like the merch, are way too big. But this has been a labor. A paneled cabled cardigan took me 3 months. I would do it again because this is probably one of my most favorite pieces. Last note that I'll say is that the yarn is 2-ply, so I'm already getting pilling. Which is a bit of a bummer, but I'm just noting here so that you know that. So I really loved working with this yarn, and I think it made the cables pop, but how quick it started pilling is a little disappointing, I will say. But nothing that a sweater shaver cannot fix. That is my folklore cardigan. The other finished object that I don't have is my sweetshop blanket. I did finish it. I was able to give it to my cousin for her for Christmas. The baby should be here soon, so that's very exciting. And I also spoke a lot about that pattern, but here's a clip. It was fun. I have a mini pack that I bought from Sorella last year that I'm hoping to maybe make either into a sweetshop blanket, or I think she's also coming out with the Stella blanket, which is using similar methods, but it looks like quilt squares, and I think I need it, so I might hold off for now. Love the pattern. That was my first Laura Penrose pattern and was not disappointed in the slightest. It was amazing. Moving on to things that I finished in 2024. The first thing that I finished was the solo scarf by caidree. I used this using gifted yarn from Originally Lovely. This is the yarn Lana in the color Merlot, and it's an Aran white Andean wool. Bloomed really nicely after blocking. This is a very simple triangle scarf that alternates stockinette and garter stitch. I have worn this a lot already. There's a lot of cat hair in it. Sassy likes it too, apparently. And the one thing that I did change from the pattern, I think it's way less noticeable now, but I just knitted a few rows this way. Once you kind of get to the peak, I knit it a bit wider just to give a little extra length. The way that this bunched when you were knitting, I thought I wasn't going to have a long scarf, and this is, I'll show you, it's really the perfect length. So I feel like it gives you a lot of like coverage here, so you can kind of fold this and kind of fiddle with that how you like. And then of course I do like having the triangles to stuff into my jacket. I feel like they're more practical than having like a long scarf, even though those are probably a little more fashionable. This is lovely. The Andean wool is not so rustic that it doesn't, like, I can't put it next to skin. I find it very comfortable and very warm. I went to like 2 outdoor parties in the month of January and wore this both times and was just like snuggled up, and everyone was like, you look so warm. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I am. Because I knit my own scarf. This was a great, just kind of like basic piece. I have the Sophie shawl by Pettiteknit, but it's in like a light superwash, so it's not super warm. So this is kind of like its big sister that I can stuff into my coat. It's practical. I love this color. It's one of my favorite colors to wear, and it matches one of my winter coats, which is like this color, and it's also corduroy. So the corduroy, like the stripes in the corduroy, I feel like are almost mixed in the texture of the scarf, which is kind of fun, a little different. Something a little different for the Teen Vogue party. I like the scarf. I feel like this is just a really good basic to have. It was nice to have after working on the behemoth that is the folklore cardigan, mindless, meditative, and it knit up really quickly because I used an Aran weight yarn. And I think I may have also went up a size. I didn't really pay too close attention to gauge because I was like, I will just knit until it is wide as I like it and then knit back. I worried it was going to be too wide, but it really is the perfect length, and after blocking again, it grew up quite nicely. So that is the solo scarf by caidree. So the next thing that I have is an Oslo hat by pettiteknit, and I don't know why I keep trying this pattern, and I'm honestly kind of sick of talking about it. Getting into my plans a little bit, something that seems like an achievable goal but seems really far out of my grasp is knitting a hat that I like. I have yet to do it. This is not helping me get there. I tried to knit the Oslo hat last year, also in a superwash. It was like an MCN, so a superwash nylon cashmere blend. I knit the double button band too short, and it looked weird. This time, I feel like I did everything as instructed, and I finally figured out the turn. I did this wrong too, like the pearl bumps on it. I did that wrong last time. Thought I figured that out, but I think the real culprit is the fiber. So trial by error. I feel like I see people make hats with superwash all the time. I don't think it goes for the look that I want. I want something more structured and like that will stick up just a little bit. And this, because it's superwash and it's not grippy, it's not toothy, it just kind of like molds to my head. I have my hair up, so I won't try it on, but like I don't like how I look. I feel like I look like a pinhead, and I just want like a little structure to it. This fiber does not lend well to that. And I also have another hat on my needles with this leftover lana, and I think going for a bulkier 100% wool will get me a little bit farther. This is the cloud hat. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I put this aside to knit the other whip that I have. So I think I might go back to this. I'm gonna frog this because I don't like how it fits, and this is really, really beautiful yarn. So this is the one acquisition I have from since I last saw you. I got this at Moon and Yarn. I always like, my brain farts when I need to say the name of the store. It's Moon and Yarn Craft Room in Pittsburgh, my hometown, and I love going there and visiting Brienne when I go home. This is my second time there, and it's just like a really lovely shop if you're in the area. By a yarn company called Manos it's by Manos del Uruguay, and it is so gorgeous. It's, I think, a hand spun, and it is this dark blue with light blue, pink, yellow, a little bit of like lighter blue throughout it. I wouldn't say white. And it's a sport weight superwash yarn. So I don't think I've seen this kind of hand spun in a superwash. It is so soft. I usually don't like superwash. I think this is part of the reason why. I don't think I just like love the fabric that it gives, but if I make like a scarf and a mitten set with this, I will be okay. I think I can do that. I normally don't go for this much variegation, but I love these colors. I think they're very quite complimentary to me, if I do say so myself. I had a gift card, but this yarn was still like expensive, and so I want to put it to a good use and not this. So we live and we learn. I think this is all in pursuit of something that I will like really want to wear all the time. And I think once I find a hat yarn combo that works, like a pattern yarn combo that works for me, I will make probably a few, because I'm sick of not having hats that fit me in the winter. I had a cold snap here earlier this month, and I did not feel like my head was properly equipped, because I don't really have sturdy hat that I gravitate towards. That is my hat saga. Last year was the dress saga. This year we're tackling a smaller and maybe a perhaps even more difficult feat for some reason. It's finding a hat that freaking fits. Moving on to my next whip, which is more exciting and I'm more excited about. It is the Lumme by Sari Nordlund. This is my first colorwork sweater. I'm very exciting. She's quite bunched up. We're getting very close to sleeve separation, and here she is. I'm looking at my viewfinder because I do feel like this looks so much better on camera. Like the contrast of the yarn and like it kind of, I'm just gonna say it kind of smooths out the bumps when you look at it from this angle, and it makes me happier with it, I'll be honest. I'm very excited about this. I have not knit a colorwork sweater before. This is my first go at a colorwork garment. I knit an intarsia tank top that I never wear. This is my first straight in colorwork sweater. This one I think has really been making the rounds recently, and I really like the simplicity of this is actually a dark brown. It looks like a charcoal, I think, in pictures, but it is dark brown. It is the colors that Sari uses in the sample photos, and I'm like, that one. I want to knit that one. I like it. I kind of wish it was gray. I think that I don't love brown because it doesn't contrast a lot with my hair color or my eyes. So when I wear, like, at least this has white in it, but when I have my hair down on a brown sweater, I feel like it looks kind of like one note. But I think I will persist because it is so gorgeous. One thing that I wish was different about this sweater, and I'll put in footage of me trying this on, my barber cords are just like too precarious for me to want to do this again. I lost so many stitches the last time I tried it on. I don't love the collar. It's quite high, and I thought I was like being smart by knitting it a little shorter, but it still kind of puckers. It'll be interesting to see how everything lays once I block it. I do think if I don't like how high it is, like I could fold it maybe. It'd be short, but I kind of like it that way, because the collar just looks like very high and a little like restrictive in some photos, and some people did a folded collar, but then I thought that was making it look like it stuck out more, so I didn't do that, but maybe that will be a solution. So I'm keeping it open right now. But otherwise, the color chart is easy to follow. Sometimes I feel like in knitting there's a false conception that things are really difficult, and like if you've been knitting for a while, they most likely will not be difficult. Like especially just like a 2-color sweater, like you can do it. I just like look at me right now, if you've knit a sweater, you can do this. I knit with it's kind of like a combination style with my yarn in my left hand, and I don't pick though, so I like throw with my left hand. So I am moving slowly with color work. I basically have to like set yarn down and pick it back up. That's okay though. I've been able to knit the yoke. Like it's fine. Don't tell me to learn continental. I don't want to. If you're worried about that, like I'm just saying, don't be, you'll be okay. And overall, I'm just really excited about this. I did not mention it's knit in Cascade 220, which I am so excited to be working with again. It is just like one of my favorite yarns to work with. I made my Ingrid sweater with it. That was 2 years ago, and I've been like itching to make something with it again. And when I saw that that was like the yarn that Sari Nordlund used, I was like, let's go, Cascade. I ride hard. It is quite thick. I was knitting this when it was like 10 degrees outside. I'm like, this is gonna be great. And now it's again 45, 50 degrees Fahrenheit here in Washington, D.C. So like, am I making a sweater that might be too warm? We'll see. I think it'll be okay. It gets quite cold in my office in the winter, and I could wear this without a jacket. Let's just take a minute to look on the inside. It's so beautiful. And I'll also give you a close-up look. Stunning, babes. I will say I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but there is some puckering that I hope blocks out, and that's in this this ivy. There was an increase row, and then I continued to knit the ivy, and I should have already went up to my largest cable size, which I also need larger cables. This is like not it. I hadn't gone up yet, and I think because the stitches were so tight, it was easy to make tighter floats, which is leading to like a little pulling. What is that float? I think I'll be okay though, and I think a nice block will do this well. So also, any tips for blocking color work, let me know. I did not block a color work swatch, so I'm going to do that before I block this, just to be certain. And yeah, that is my loom sweater. I am really, really happy with it. I had it on my list last year to make a color work sweater, and I didn't do it, and I've been eyeing this since the fall, this particular pattern, so it's excited to finally come to fruition. I love this yarn. I feel like it's budget friendly. You can make a sweater for, like, depending on your size, like $60 to $80 US, which I think is quite reasonable for the quality of yarn that you get. Yes, I'm very excited. I am anxious to see how the circular yoke fits, because I have a circular yoke cardigan that I don't like the fit of, but I do think there are options to add some short row shaping once you finish the yoke, and then once you get to the bottom of the body. So I will definitely be exploring those just to give myself a little leeway there. And that's everything that I've been working on or have on my needles. The life update is that I started a graduate certificate program this year in instructional design. So that is very exciting. I kind of had an unexpected career shift in the summer, and I've always worked on or with education programs, except for like the past year. I've been working on an events team in virtual events, but it's also the company I work for is primarily, I do online courses and online events. So I've been working on the education side again. I decided to finally develop some more technical skills and learn more about instructional design. It's been exciting, but it definitely has been an adjustment. I have not been knitting as much. I have schoolwork to do at night. Even though it's a certificate program, like, it's still work. It's kind of been like rejuggling all of that. I'm not exactly sure how often I'll be posting on YouTube, but I think it will have to kind of fall a notch or two in the priority list, especially if I want to keep time to actually knit, or else I would probably just be making videos in my spare time, I'd just be making videos in my spare time, but if I'm not knitting, I really don't have anything to make videos about. So that's just a quick little life update. If anyone's in the field wants to chat, let me know. I would love to hear about your experience. That is my life update and kind of what lies ahead for me and the channel. I do want to take a moment to talk about winter 2024 plans. Because of school, I haven't like really sat down and been like, this is a list of things that I want to make. I don't have a make 9, but I have a kind of intention and a vision and a philosophy going into 2024 with my knits. I mainly just want to focus on making things that fit me. And I want that to be my driving focus, things that fit me and things that I will wear. I also want to take the stance of, I want to focus more on quality over quantity. Like, for example, I made quite a few tank tops this summer that were like, or this past summer, that were DK weight, and some I really liked and some I didn't. And I think if I took a little more time, especially in spring and summer knitting, to make more fingering weight garments, I think that might be a better use of my time, focusing on just more versatile garments to wear. The next thing or things that I've been thinking about are revisiting garment types that I haven't reached for or I haven't liked in the past. This feels a little at odds with my first goal and my ethos. I might not end up knitting these things, but I might want to explore. I've been seeing this woolen beyond vest. That's like a garter stitch vest with like a little tie. I love the look of it. It's so darling with the contrasting I-cord. I cannot figure out for the life of me if it's something that I will actually wear. I have things, like I have knitted sweater vests in the past and I don't like them, but it looks so cute. Something like that. I've also never knit a t-shirt. I don't have any tees. The transitional seasons here are quick. I feel like it's better spent to be working on like hot weather items than just like spring, fall transitional items. Like a t-shirt, I could find a place for it in my wardrobe. And like the Tolsted tee is something that I thought about. I think I just want to explore kind of what else is out there for garments that I haven't made yet. I want to make, maybe after this sweater, just like a fancy sweatshirt sweater. Something like maybe a raglan, maybe a drop shoulder sweater. I made this cardigan. I'm making the circular yoke. I'm already kind of like, is this gonna fit me the best? And I just want something like cozy and easy and oversized to knit up before spring is here. So that is on the list as well. Just practical sweater you can throw on with leggings, with jeans. It's boring. It is boring, but I will wear it, and that's way more important to me. These are all the things that I kind of have floating around in my head as far as planning goes. It's not really fleshed out. It's not really, there's no inspiration board. I really don't even have any huge patterns in mind, just like kind of a few touch points. Ultimately, I think the reigning ethos, the reigning ideas are to focus on quality over quantity and to also try new things at the same time and kind of balance those things out. I want to continue to try new techniques, new stitches, new construction methods, and just see what else is out there. Like, I really enjoyed working on a paneled cardigan more than I thought, and things like colorwork aren't as intimidating as I thought they were. So I want to continue to be surprised as I explore knitting and have fun. How long has it been since we have done a little media review slash reality TV review slash catch up? It's been a while. So if you're new to my podcast, these started as being like things that I'm watching and reading while knitting, and that is true. I do those things while I watch them, but it's like really been reality television focused because I love reality television. It's like my #1 favorite thing to watch. I have two things. One is Traitors. This season of Traitors on Peacock is so good, and it's so much better, I think, than season 1 because they have a whole reality cast instead of just like regular people and celebrities. It's just mostly reality TV stars with another few like random celebrities mixed in. They have a former Speaker of the House of Commons in the US version, which I think is interesting because I'm like, he's British. I don't care. He's funny. It's been such great television. I just finished episode 6. I won't give any spoilers, but the premise of the show is that it's basically like the game Mafia, if you've ever played, where 3 people or like a select number of people get to like kill someone every night, but then they also get to try to, like the rest of the players get to try to banish people, hoping that they are getting the traitors that are killing people, and they're all fighting for money. It's just great TV. If you like Survivor, Big Brother, Real Housewives, I would just recommend it. It's great. I'm loving it. And Alan Cummings is in it, and he's amazing. Last time, I waited till they all came out, and I like binged it in a weekend, and this time I'm keeping up, which is definitely a little frustrating, but it's also fun to kind of be a part of the culture because we don't really have that much of like watching things as they come out. I feel like that often gets overlooked when talking about reality television. Remember Game of Thrones? Remember how kooky and crazy we were for that? You get to do that if you watch Bravo. I made a deal with the devil. And by the devil, I mean my best friend. And she was like, can you please read the ACOTAR books, A Court of Rose and Thorns? Read 2 of them, and I will watch Love Island with you this summer. And I was like, say less. So I am Stockholm Syndrome by Sarah J. Maas, I think much like Favorite is to all the men in the books. And this will be spoilers. So like if you're reading the first 2 books of ACOTAR, like I'm only like halfway into the second one, so I will give spoilers, but please do not give spoilers to me. I know these books came out like a long time ago. I am not a fantasy girly. I don't think I'm the target audience for these books. I really don't even love Sarah J. Maas's world building. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not trying to yuck your yum. Like, I don't love it, but like I have to read it. Like, I still look forward to reading it every night. I find a lot of the characters highly irritating, but I'm like, I still want to tune in and I need to find out what happens. Like I was saying to my friend, like much like I feel like Feyre has Stockholm Syndrome by like each chapter that she has, I'm Stockholm Syndrome by Sarah J. Maas. I'm like, well, I have to finish this now, and I guess it's good because I want to read it. I know also the first book is supposed to not be as good as the other ones, but like, I feel like that's kind of lame for your first book to not be as good as the other ones in your series. I don't know, I feel like it should hold its own. I don't love a lot of the dynamics of the relationships with the men, and I don't like how Feyre has to like be captured by a man to like really step into her girl bosshood. I don't like that. But I'm still going to read it and stepping into the world. Those are my thoughts. And I know I have a lot more in store. Like I'm just starting. Yeah, that's what I've been reading. Also reading my textbooks. I've been consuming that media. That's been fun. Discussion posts. That's fun. It's like a lot, you know? Juggling a lot of things. Keeping up with my shows, knitting, school, work, being a cat mother. It's all weighing heavy on me. That brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe because I don't know when I'll post next. And I will see y'all soon. Bye.